Everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. With every move he makes, another chance he takes. Odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man. They've given you a number and taken away your name. There are pretty faces that you find. A pretty face can hide an evil mind. Oh, be careful what you say, or you'll give yourself away. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man. They've given you a number and taken away your name. Secret agent man, secret agent man. They've given you a number and taken away your name. Swinging on the Riviera one day, then laying in the Bombay alley next day. No, you let the wrong word slip while kissing persuasive lips. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man. They've given you a number and taken away your name.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Yeah, Pi Day, Pie in Your Eye Day. But we can have an official meeting today because we do have the chairman of the board is here. The chair. Hello, Bill. How you doing today?
Hi. I just want to say pi r square. Yes.
See, you even get a math lesson bonus. And Dave, thank you for joining me again today.
How do you get that in a round tank? That's the problem. That's why I don't make pie, because pi r square and I have all round tanks. You know.
Yep. Did you ever own one of those square tanks?
No.
How about you, Dave? Do you have any of the
No.
square tanks?
No. You?
I've got the block, so I've got like a square.
I know.
Square.
I've got that. I got the block kit. But we had just had this discussion in the after show on Wednesday. You have that pumper thing. Oh my god, that thing is the weirdest.
It's not weird.
It's fantastic.
Right. Chat.
Turns anything into a squonk.
This is not.
Look at this
weird.
thing. That's not weird at all. It doesn't look like something out of a
Glass
cyberpunk video.
bottle. It's a squonker. You just squirt the button, and then.
What the hell is that?
It looks like a contraption out of like Doctor Who.
Kanger Tech. Shit, I can't think of what the hell it's called. The Drippies.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the steam crave pump.
No, as far as the
that does the same thing as the other one. The only
without the
difference is
hoses.
the blocks. This one got the.
Yep. It's just a mechanical squonk.
Yeah, it's good though. It actually isn't bad. It's got
hits
the
pretty
hard
good.
plastic. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it hits
This
pretty
one,
good.
My hand's got a plastic RTA or RDA, excuse me, and it's funky.
So just take that off there, put a goon on, throw it through the center holes. You can have a metal one.
drill a hole in a goon. Yeah, I don't. I've got the goon. Let's see.
I don't know
I've
where
got
my goon is.
this,
Oh, you got the Cyclops ones. Yep.
and that's the LP, right? The low profile one.
Yeah, actually, Mallory, your pecan pie
Yeah, that's
recipe
yummy.
is really good.
That's
It's
yummy.
really good. Yeah. Let's see who's here in chat today already. Tim B, Knowles, good to see you. Having a good day myself. Better day. Lady Liberty, good to see you. Dave Lloyd's in the house. The chair. Hi, Chet. Paul Pittman, good to see you. Let's see who else we got. We got Bob, Uncle Babs in the house. And then we have Swaggy. Hey, how you doing, Swaggy? Speaking of, yes, 24% off till midnight. Go ahead and go over what they are in just a minute. Let's see, Bob. Daniel's in here. Good to see you, Daniel. Been talking all day. Graham spelled correctly is here. You know, the
Yes.
Graham spelled incorrectly is not here, but the correct one is here. Yeah. So I made one up early on in this because I wanted to steep out and see how it turned out. So I made one up early. If anyone did catch it earlier on in the week, get over here so I can actually see it. I made a cinnamon apple fruit pie, which doesn't have any actual pie crust in it, but it tastes like the pie crust you get in the Little Debbie's fruit pie, apple fruit pie. So it's one of those ones where you kind of playing with your senses, and you don't go off of what you know, go off what you taste. When I made the cinnamon apple, homemade cinnamon apple Danish, cinnamon Danish, I tasted it and it almost had like an icing like crust taste to it. And I wanted to see if I could pull it into an apple, and I did. So that actually turned out really good, and its taste to me, at least, taste is subjective, taste to me a lot like a Little Debbie's apple fruit pie, which are good when you want them. And then you eat too many of them and you like got a stomach ache, and then you don't want them for a while.
But I've got sugar pie. That's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And that would be kind of when we were talking about where you were saying that crust on the Little Debbie and stuff where it's real sweet. The sugar pie is kind of like that. You don't get that crisp necessarily, kind of like that you would get when you snap one of those in half or whatever. But
Yeah, it's the cream cheese icing that helped with this. Loran's cream cheese icing. Still hard to mimic that exact flavors. Nothing that actually quite hits the same exact spot. If you want that, it kind of reminds me of like the cap frosting, the bottom shelf frosting that Dave and Emily loved, because it reminded them of the frosting you eat in the dark when you're having a rough day and you're eating in the dark, with a spoon. That's what they described it. It's like it's kind of like that. That's what that Loran's cream cheese like does. It gives you that glaze you get on all those little like gas station mini mart, like the glaze on it, that cheap glaze, and it's kind of hard to mimic. But yeah, so I wanted to go over pies just because it's pie season. We actually are at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall era, where there's different pies available, so there's not as many limitations as like as we get closer to Thanksgiving. Everybody's thinking, oh, we got to get a pumpkin pie, or we got to do the harvest this, or we got to do a big apple pie. But right now, you kind of still not completely out of the berry season. You still get berries from the supermarket. So
see, rather than pies, my mom used to make a blackberry cobbler, which is similar to a pie.
No good.
you couldn't have brought up a better like cobbler either, because this year they just came out with a new candy corn blackberry cobbler. And that's what I'm gonna go after when it comes Halloween time. I'm gonna go after that blackberry cobbler candy, see if I can hit it, because actually that's way better than an ordinary like candy. If they do it good. I don't know, I haven't tried a real one, so can't only have maybe one or two anyway.
Those are good, Lady Liberty, if you leave the coconut out. I don't care for coconut, But then again, that kind of sounds bad, so forget that. Now
I
that
was
I
gonna.
mentioned it, just
I think you were going
respectful.
PG with it, but it very much sounded like you went a different
I was
direction
just
there.
trying to say I don't like coconut, but then I got to thinking, no, that's probably not a good, peanut butter pie. There you go, Paul. Thanks.
Yep.
Except
Squash
when I
pies.
put peanut butter in anything, it's just screams peanut butter. I can't get peanut butter to not take over no matter what peanut butter I use or no matter what I put it in with.
Yeah, and we were talking about that on Tuesday about different things you put in flavors you put in it completely take over a mix, and it's not. Sometimes depends on the individual. In your case,
Mhm.
peanut butter, no matter what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. And I can take it real low. And well, I'm the same way with RY4. I can't get RY4 in something low enough to where it's extremely mild and I can vape it. It always yells at me. And so I can't do RY4 and I can't do peanut butter.
Have you tried RY8?
Oh,
Yeah, I took RY4 like 1% and then put a ton of other stuff in it and I still tasted
Ah, okay.
it.
yeah. Quickly, just go over that. I won't even throw it up on the screen because it's simple. But Mallory just put her butter pecan pie too in chat. This is one you'd like, Bill. It's simple. I know you kind of like either to go an extreme on something or a nice, simple, easy recipe that tastes good. Just butter pecan flavor west at 3%, pie crust TPA, which you said you have,
Yeah.
at 3%, and sweet VSO at 2%, but you could use your own sweetener. And you could make that probably, couldn't you? Or do you not have the butter pecan?
I've got pecan, but I don't know whether or not I've got the butter pecan. Let's see what pecan.
Simple recipe, but very tasty. That's actually one of the. That's
Yeah,
a good one for anyone who's starting off that's
I've got
watching
about
today.
that
That's what I
much.
want.
I've got about that much butter pecan left.
Oh, so you see, there, Bill's
Yeah.
got enough to make probably about 100. Oh, he might have enough to make his size bottles. Because Bill likes to make them in a. It doesn't make small amounts. Look at that. Yeah, that's
It
that's
tells
Bill's
you how
mix.
many mil you got left. I've got 90 mil left in that bottle.
Okay, Swaggy's not a fan of cream in his pie, but no, you can definitely. And I have tried that butter pecan pie from Mallory. It's actually very good for just a simple like two flavors in a sweetener recipe. It's got really good flavor. So that's for anyone starting off. Remember you don't have to have 1,000 flavors to make a good mix.
No, you don't.
No.
Basically, it's just you start out throwing stuff together, and then you might think of something else that sounds good in it. If you do, put it in it. If you don't put it in it. But you can start with three and then vape it and like it or not like it, and then you can add a little to it. That's
The biggest thing for that is, and we haven't gone over all of them. I mean, there's plenty of. We're Nota DX now, but Noted originally was a good place to start to get the right flavors to do the lower percentages or the mixes that only take one or two flavors. It's a good place to start versus going out there and thinking, oh, that says it's that, and then trying it and finding out it's one of those flavors that tastes nothing like what you want.
Well, the apple pie that we were always making was just the apple filling, and
Yep, that's in here. That's in
that
the
was
apple
these
filling.
two here, and that's it. I mean, just little Flavor apple filling and FA apple pie.
Yep. I got Flavora apple filling, and I use the apple butter from Wonder Flavors in here. I wanted to make a different type of, you gotta play around. You gotta try the different mixes. I will say that it gave it that artificial, fake, like cheap, like gas station snack in a box type flavor out of that. That apple butter with the apple filling did it. It cheapened it up to make it match the rest of the cheap ingredients. It's weird, but it worked.
I like that though. I've always liked that.
Yeah. But I was looking for that. I wanted that cheap ingredient feel because I had the cheap ingredient feel crust. I needed that cheap ingredient filling, but it still had to be tasty, but cheap. Sorry, Swag, I didn't put any of yours in here for that reason, although your butter is in here because I don't know. It needed the butter, but it didn't go heavy. And I put a little bit of swag cake in it too to kind of fill up that crust because I tried it without the cake and it didn't quite do it before with the Danish too. It needed that little bump. But no, that's actually tastes like that cheap gas station in a box snack that you, if you like those things, the old McDonald's ones too. Yeah. I just saw some. I think it was your post, Dave, about them being so hot.
You remember? It wasn't mine. Wasn't mine. But yeah, I did see it though. Temperature of the sun or temperature of mercury or something.
Mercury, the surface temperature of mercury. Those things were, and they'd be that hot for like. You could drive to work an hour away and somehow those things stayed hot.
Yeah.
They were brutal.
Yeah, between that and the coffee, you could stay warm on a cold winter's day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the coffee, now they can't have it that hot because it's like, it says hot all around.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's supposed to be.
What did that dumbass lady think the coffee was going to be? Cold?
Yeah. Possibly.
Went by the fact that it was hotter than it really needed to be, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but
DTF,
it's all over the box. But, hey, Daytime Frank, good to see you. If you're free, hop in. No,
I put together a very quick a bunch of recipes today, but one was just Swaggy's grape, his boysenberry, a little tad of his sour, and some sweetener. Really good.
Yep. I actually did try one. I'll go over it later on when there was no midweek critique this week because, personal things that Wayne had to deal with, wasn't going to be able to make it. But when we get to that, there is a recipe I can't wait to go over that has that similar profile to what you're saying. It's not Swaggy's, but it's that profile. It's like, oh, it hit me just right. So I like that one.
I know my recipe I put in, that waffle was just too strong. I should have put it in at like 0.5% and I went 2. And it just overpowered the whole recipe.
It happens.
Talking about a Belgian waffle?
Trial and error.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, Belgian waffle can be a little...
Yes.
It's like Zappella. Zappella's good, but you can easily turn that too high so you just get fried, crispy edge only, and there's nothing else to your recipe. Yeah, but if you're looking for that homemade donut taste, so that crawler taste, there's no substitute. There really isn't. Yeah, let me pull these over here, get these ready, and I'll pull over the ones. I did see there's a couple mix-alongs here. Let's see, might even be able to make one or two. It's a possibility.
Bouncing ball, bouncing mix. Yeah.
Follow the bouncing mix, yes. Yeah, here, I'll just go over the cinnamon apple fruit pie that I was talking about. I made it MTL because I wanted something I could actually taste in the new MTL. But it also is more of a really strong direct long. It works really well for both. It's kind of straddling that line. But the apple butter Wonder Flavors at 2%. Apple filling Flavora 1.75. Similar to what Bill was saying, it's a go-to. Butter VSO at 1.5. Cake VSO at 1.5. Obviously, most of you know the ones you could sub there. If you don't have VSO, caramel Flavora at 1, cinnamon Danish swirl cap at 4.5, cinnamon sugar from cap at 2.25, cream cheese icing Lorenz at 2.25, nut muffin from cap at 1.5, and super sweet from Perillam at 1.5. So basically, I went up like about a third on all the ingredients to try and make it so I could taste it in the MTL, which I can. It's just not strong on those RPM coils. I think if I had an RBA section, it'd be much better. This is an interesting one here from Rocky Tooney. Green tomato pie. Who would have thought to make this in a vape? Cinnamon and spice TPA 10% dilution at 0.8. Graham cracker Flavora at 0.4. Juicy lemon from Cap at 0.25. Pie crust 101, that's a go-to, at 2. Pudding base VTA at 1. Red dates VTA at 0.25. Super sweet from Cap at 0.5. And tomato VSO at 2. Says I'm missing ingredients. I think it's actually the red dates, which I do have in my cart and will be here soon. So, yeah. I might not have that graham cracker either. I don't know if I had the Flavora one. Well, look at this picture here. I mean, it looks like an apple pie, kind of. Green tomato pies have been called apple pies of summer because when baked with warm spices such as cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves, unripe green tomatoes take on a fruity note similar to Granny Smith apples or rhubarb. Tapioca and raisins are commonly used in this filling. See that? Yeah, that's actually similar to the whole. You want to talk about McDonald's pies? They actually typically wind up using potatoes in their pies. There's not actually apple in them. And it's the same thing. You take on a flavored thing. And there's Mallory's there with the butter pecan at 3, pie crust DPA at 3, and VSO sweet at 2, and that's simple butter pecan pie. I find that extremely impressive as well. Very tasty for such a simple recipe. Does need a little bit of a steep though, which we did find out.
You don't end up with, when you only do like a 2 or 3 flavor mix, you don't end up with everything fighting against each other for a while, you know. And taste buds aren't trying to taste a bunch of stuff that's real light in it that you're like, I can't taste the whatever or the what, and you just got those couple of flavors and they have to come through because they're the only thing in there, you know.
Yep. Throw that in chat. And then Bob threw one together here too. I'll go over in just a second as well. Love it that Bob and Rocky almost always play along, which is fun. And they don't go with the generic profiles either, which is something else.
I like generic.
Generic can be good, but it's interesting how, okay, Rocky. fill my pie with your apples and make it creamy. Oh boy. But apple pie from FA, Torta di Mele at 2%. Baked apple VSO at 2%. Yep, we're going with a bougier one here. Candy jamming wizard from FA at 0.4. Cinnamon sugar from Cap at 1. Country apple perillum at 2.5. Ice cream vanilla SSA at 2. Pie crust flavor west at 1. Sweet VSO at 0.25. What am I missing? Is it that one still? I don't have that one yet, do I? No, I have that. I don't know what I'm missing there.
Hit the missing. You are missing ingredients. See what you're missing.
Oh, I'll tell you?
Yeah. Go down, scroll down. Keep going. With your, keep going. Yeah, press that. You are missing right there, yeah.
Where?
No, you're right beside.
You're right beside it, and you
ingredients. Go back up.
Go back up.
Back up to where it says you're missing ingredients.
And click on the little thing at the end of the sentence. No, go up.
Oh, then this isn't actually reading correctly. I gotta go back to my
right there. Click.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
I'm not missing all of them. I know I'm not. I know I have that. I know I have that. I'm not 100% sure on that. Okay. Well, that'll be interesting. See, now I got. I've been talking about that.
The apple pie one up there, that's one of those that ELR had set up that when you went to put it in, if you put in apple pie FA, it would come back out as something totally different. You had to have the little words in parentheses.
That Torta de Mele.
Then it thinks you don't have it when you do have it. Yeah. So you have it, but you just don't have it listed in ELR right, is what your problem is.
Okay. Yeah. I might be able to make that one. Looks pretty good. It's actually that's a more bougier version of what I made. It's actually like a real apple pie versus my like half-ass apple pie made for like a gas station. Onomatopoeia. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Bob. That's good. Hey, Cherokee. Good to see you. Now we got apple pies. Bill, what has been your favorite pie, like e-liquid you've ever tried?
It would be the apple pie. Yeah.
Apple pie. Is there a specific one?
Yeah, it was the one that I was telling. I don't know if I can find the. Let me see if I can find the recipe. It's either in grams or mix.
How about you, Dave? Same question.
I like apple pie a lot with ice cream, vanilla ice cream on it. But obviously, that's not something I could eat very often, if at all. And seasonal would be pumpkin pie.
What about vape? What about in a vape form? What's the
In
one
a
you've had
vape.
that's been best? Your best apple pie? Well, it doesn't have to be apple. Whatever your favorite pie you've ever vaped. I will say that butter pecan would be up there pretty good.
Yeah,
That
I think
simple
so.
butter pecan's pretty good.
That would be up there, yeah.
I was surprised. I saw that simple one. I said, I'll mix it. I'm thinking it'll be all right. And I was like, ooh, this is way better than I expected. Sometimes that butter pecan's almost a one shot, though, with the pie crust. Oh, it's Mrs. Swag's blueberry pie. I imagine. Swaggy.
Yeah, good blueberry pie. Yeah.
Yep, there we go. Apple pie with sharp cheddar. Showing her northern roots there, huh?
Is that
Pie with cheese.
Yeah.
Pie with cheese. The great debate. Does pie and cheese go together? Some
Never
people
tried
say
it.
no. Either people say no or they say yes. And if you haven't had it, it does seem like a strange thing. I think it was I think I had some kind of smoked cheese on an apple pie one time. Just a thin layer over. They just put over top and melted it on top. And it looked gross, to be honest with you. Looking at it, it tasted amazing. That smoked cheese was beautiful.
Can I share this, or is that set up to share?
I can't share it.
Either that, or I
Because
can give you. Let's see. Can I get the recipe? Can I put the?
should be
At
able
the top.
to.
Yeah,
I don't have a spanner, do I?
If you don't and you put your name in there, I'll make sure you do.
I put it in, but I don't think it'll. I don't know if it'll show up or not because I just stuck it in.
But
That's it. That's on Mix ELR.
oh, it's Mick. Mick made it.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's Graham was the one that came up with it. Mick and I both made it. I've lost it off mine. Mick called it Graham's apple pie. Graham called it Bill's apple pie. But Graham's actually the one that put it together. But it's simple, 3 flavors. You know, actually 2 flavors.
You put
You
it in
see,
chat. I don't
it's
see it in chat.
Yeah, well, that's because I don't have a spanner and it won't show whatchamacallits from there.
Well, you said hi chat in the beginning. I can change that for you.
Yeah, I put it in there also, but you know,
You are here often enough to get that. Yeah, for sure. No, commercial liquid wise, I don't think I've had a pie one that I actually cared for. Been thinking about it. I always wanted one, and I've tried a lot of them, and none of them hit the mark for me.
there.
Like
Okay.
some of the better donut ones were Vinyl and Vapors, but the better ones.
Let's see if it'll go in now. It's yeah, there you go. Now it's in there.
I believe actually, Tempe, you had a pie recipe on all the flavors, didn't you? Not from today, but he had a really good pie recipe. I think I mixed once. I think it was pie.
We all vaped that one, that apple pie. We all vaped it probably for I don't know. I probably vaped that for about 3-4 months. You know, Mick vaped it for a long time. You know, that's
Key,
what-
So,
key lime pie is good too. I've made a few recipes.
yep. Oh no, it was a cookie. That's right, strawberry and cream cookies. What I'm thinking of by Tim B. That was really good though. Yeah, strawberry and cream pie too. Not something I'd typically go after. I just have strawberries and cream. Just put whipped cream and strawberries or something like that.
Yeah, I like that on cake better. Yeah,
Yep.
like a yellow cake with strawberries and whipped cream. Yeah, I don't look at it as so much of a pie. If I was going to do like a strawberry pie, I'd probably use the strawberry jam instead of like a strawberry because that's more of the pie texture type stuff with the jam than
Daniel wants to raid in Pokemon Go. Yeah, it is a shame that yellow cake wrecks coils, and it doesn't matter which one you use. I mean, I do find that the Flavor West yellow cake does wreck the coils a little bit more than Jungle Flavors, but Jungle Flavors is really close behind. It's not all that much better.
I don't. I mean, the thing is, it depends. If you depends, I guess, if you use stock oils, then it's a problem. But I don't. I use
Dutch apple pie. Dutch apple pie.
I use Capella yellow cake actually more.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, the Dutch apple pie. Did I mix that one? Apple candy, apple pie V2. Yep, Bavarian cream, creamy yogurt. I think you did have me mix that one. Yeah, it is Tim B's Dutch apple pie. I did mix this. It was a while ago, but I did mix this one up.
So did you end up seeing that recipe that I put in?
Oh, it didn't pop up. I didn't see it.
I saw
put it in-
dot.
No, I put it in again. Hang on. Well, I'll put it in a third time here. It went the second time because you had there. I just put it in. So you
Okay,
should.
there it is. Okay.
Yeah, that time it showed up. Yep.
Graham's apple pie. That's it. Two ingredients.
Yeah, that's it. Just those two, and it, like I said, it comes out. It tastes just like, not as hot as the Mickey D's apple pie, but it tastes just like one.
Really?
And what I tried to do, I thought I had vaped it for a couple of times, and I thought this could be. I thought, if you put a little bit of whipped cream on here or something, you can't put something like that in. It kills the cinnamon, and that was it. It just doesn't taste right anymore. You've got to have.
It throws the balance off. Darn it.
Yep.
Okay, so it's just apple filling flavor at 1 and apple pie from FA at 4.
Right, and that's it. Yeah. And it tastes just like Mickey D's apple pies. Yeah.
And right here's Tim B's. He's Knowles, if anyone's following him. And TPA apple candy at 2%. Cap apple V2 at 4.5%. Cap Bavarian cream at 1.5. Creamy yogurt at 2 from Cap. And Fuji apple at 2 from Cap. And TPA sweetener at 0.75. And I was wondering when I remember mixing this and thinking, apple candy, that seems strange. It's not. It actually kind of just feels like it mixes really well with like the crust and stuff. It just tastes like a really kind of a little extra tart, like apple pie. Like, a candied version of like something you pick up at like, not in a box at a gas station, but say maybe the gas station makes some quick pies just to sell for sweets for kids.
You can do a peach pie also.
Mm-hmm.
Something along, I've got, a couple of peaches, throw that in with the crust. You could probably make a decent peach pie.
Another good combo that I kind of like is if you're going for a bougier pie is use Swaggy's baked apple along with that apple filling from Flavora. That combo is really nice for a pie filling. But you have to like your spice.
Watermelon grape pie. That would be great. Grapes and watermelon and pie crust.
Watermelon grape pie.
Yeah, that would be man.
I made a chocolate pie for this show.
Bill, if you're gonna do that, you gotta put 10% DX peanut butter on top.
Yeah. No, actually, I mean, I don't know. I think a watermelon vape with a crust may not be that bad. As a pie, as an actual, I mean, to use real watermelon in a pie with the crust would not be good. But
No.
as a vape, if you think about it, as a vape, I think I could probably vape watermelon and then put a crust or a cake or something in it, and so that way you'd have like a crust with the watermelon. It would be strange brain wise, but I think it would actually vape okay. I don't think that the crust and the watermelon could go well together. Yeah.
It could. I mean, that's one of those ones where you could not eat it in real life,
No, you couldn't eat
but
it,
you
but you could
can
probably vape it.
make the
Yeah.
flavor. Yeah.
Right. And you could probably
Okay.
vape it and it might actually taste pretty decent, you know.
You have strawberry glaze. Why not watermelon? Yeah, I forgot to turn off that bugs. You see, what's happening is outside, it's been raining a lot. So my compost heap, the
Oh,
wind's blowing
Tim,
this way, so the bugs come in.
Tim says it doesn't work. He's tried it.
Oh, that sucks. And yeah, I turned
It
on the
sounds
bug
like it
zapper.
would.
I put the bug zapper inside, and so I can get rid of the fruit flies that keep on trying to come in from outside. And as you can hear, as soon as the light goes off, they go to it.
Fruit fly pie is pretty good too.
Fruit fly pie. Yeah, there we go. Make a fruit fly pie
They
just
had
for
a
Bill.
what shoe fly
Shoe fly,
pie?
shoe fly pie. Yep. And then there's was it crow pie? Was that what it was called, or something like that?
Yep. That's the 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie.
You know, I remember one, and I don't know who it was. Was it Trucker, or Trucker talked about it way back when? It was an apple pie pipe, apple pie tobacco flavor. That was he either talked about or he made that was really supposed to be good.
Yeah.
It's a really popular one. That makes sense. I mean, apple, a nice rich apple pie with a tobacco. If you like tobaccos, would be a nice combo.
Yeah.
Funeral pie. Yep.
Yeah, I actually heard a thing where they were talking about back when pies originated, that pies actually were like where you hear the thing where it says 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. That's what they used to do. They used to make like for royalty. They'd make these huge pies and then they'd take the crust off and there would be birds in it or something and they'd all fly away. They were actually put inside the crust. We've lost Tim.
Now I want to shut that off because it's zapping more. Apparently, yeah. No, yeah, that was like a wedding pie, wasn't that what it was called? A wedding pie, where they used to put like doves inside
Yeah,
the pie and then break it open.
stuff in it. At one, they actually put a band. They had a huge pie and they had a band inside of it with their instruments and everything. And then the pie opened up like a cake when you open and they jump out. But it was pies back when they originally started doing it.
Instead of cakes.
Yeah, and they would have like birds in it or whatever else, and then they would just open it up.
Oh
and all the
God,
birds
Bob.
come flying out.
Have you had a banana cream pie that you've liked, or something like that? One of the cream pies.
I
And
like
that's not being
banana.
dirty. That's being serious.
I like bananas and you know, like I said, so I could, but I won't use banana reel. I can tell you that because God, I did not like that stuff. Have you used that? Have you ever used banana reel?
I have, and I'm not a super big fan of it either. But in the right mix, it could work.
It turned into spearmint after about 2 weeks.
Okay, I didn't do that
it
to
turned
me
into
though.
Spearmint. You know, I was vaping it at first. It was like real banana in your face banana, and I thought, you know, I need to calm the banana down a little bit or something. But then I let it steep for a while, and it calmed down. And then after about 2 weeks, I went to hit it, and I was like, "This tastes like spearmint." You know, it's gone. It is really weird. Yeah.
All right, we're going over pies, so let's just think outside the box here. Maybe someone will want to make one of these. Okay.
Did you see
Well,
mine?
Rocky just put in here 17 strange pies you still might eat. Dorito, and onion pie.
No.
That's weird. Vinegar pie. I've actually had vinegar pie. It's actually pretty good.
That's no.
Funeral pie. You already brought that up.
It's where you put dead people in a pie.
Oh yeah. So Cool Ranch to be specific for the Dorito pie, and then funeral pie is it's a raisin pie. Filled
No.
and then you got avocado pie.
No.
No.
It looks like key lime. I kind of want it by the picture, but I probably wouldn't like to taste. Cheeseburger and pickle pie. Okay, I might actually go for that.
You just put that. No, definitely not.
These all sound like pies for pregnant women.
Sounds like pies for somebody that is extremely buzzed, but
Yeah.
they don't know what it is in it. Because if you told them, they wouldn't. But if you didn't tell them, they'd be like, "Man, this tastes great."
Well, that's what this one is. Green grape pie. If you close your eyes, the texture might be similar to cherry pie. But if not, it's green grapes in it, and it looks horrible. Looks like you're eating something that should like be hatching in your pie. Navel bean pie.
I think I've heard of that.
I've heard of it.
And a pie.
Navy
Yeah.
bean pie. Navy bean pie. Yeah, it's literally made out of beans. It's
Yeah.
like, instead of a can of beans, you have a pie of beans.
I like Great Northern, so I'd have a Great Northern pie rather than a navy bean pie. Yeah.
Mac and cheese with bacon pie. Okay, I can handle that. Beef and beer pie. So it's basically a pot pie. Okay, I can see that.
Pot pie don't have beer in it.
Frito and chili pie.
No.
That's right up there on the top with the other one, with the Doritos one. Stargazy pie. What is
Rocky
that?
says number 15 looks delicious.
Oh God, 11 looks delicious. Okay, the Stargazy pie. Those are fish heads poking out of that pie. It's a Cornish dish made with fish, specifically, what are they? Pickards, potatoes and egg enveloped in a pie crust. Find recipe here. But the fish are actually have their faces sticking out. That's the Stargazy.
God, no.
That would give me nightmares if I were a kid. No.
Oh, no.
As a kid, hell, it gave me nightmares, and I'm like older than a kid.
Hot dog
Slightly.
pie. Hot dog pie. It just basically looks like you cut up your hot dogs and put them in chili and put it in a pie crust and layered cheese on top, like a crust. Lattice work
Leave
for
the
cheese.
cheese off. That don't sound bad, you know.
That don't
Beanie
so-
weenie pie, you know.
That doesn't actually sound like it tastes bad. I don't know why you'd waste it putting it in a crust. You could just put it on the plate. A Twinkie pie. Okay, Twinkie pie. But what a pie is, I mean, kind of is almost. Nacho pie. The
Nope.
heck is a nacho pie?
Got to be just about the same as a Dorito pie.
Yeah.
You just use nachos instead. Yeah.
The crust is made out of crescent rolls and tortilla chips. Green tomato pie. We already had that discussion about that one. Rocky actually made one. It was Rocky, wasn't it? Rocky or Bob?
Yeah.
One of them made one. Pickle and peanut butter pie with yogurt.
Oh,
Okay.
God. No.
Why does this exist? I need to know why. Why would someone want pickle and peanut butter pie with yogurt? It's bad enough pickle and peanut butter, but then you add the yogurt too. It's just like it wasn't bad enough. You had to throw something else in.
Is hair pie in there?
A club sandwich pie is number 17. Again, why?
Bacon pie? That doesn't sound bad, you know.
All right. So, who put this in here? Was it Bob or Rocky?
That's got to be Rocky. He was saying number
That was
15.
Rocky.
He liked
Rocky.
the looks of number 15. Whatever number 15 is, Rocky
That's
thinks
the tomato green pie.
Oh.
Green tomato pie. Okay. That one there isn't so strange to me. And actually, they do it tastes a lot like it does
Tim B
taste like an
said
apple
he
pie.
made an apple pie to look for it at hashtag AAFL. You know.
Okay, I'll do that.
Made a chocolate pie.
Chocolate pie, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, it's on there. Edgar Allan Pie. That's the name of it.
Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, Edgar Allan pie. Nice. Hey, that I would have to vape that in a Nevermore.
There you go.
It has a raven on it, nonetheless. It wasn't on purpose or nothing, right? So here's Timothy B's Knowles recipe: apple pie AFL must try. Apple pie V2, 4.5%. Oh, is this the same one or different? Bavarian cream, Flavor West at 0.75. Cap butter. Oh no, it's different. Buttercream at 0.25. Cap Fuji apple at 2. TPA graham cracker clear at 0.5. FA pear at 1. Sugar cookie V2 at 0.75. And super sweet from Cap at 0.5. No notes on that, but yeah, that looks good. That does look good. And I'm a real fan of Fuji apple. I truly am. Now, that Fuji apple, another thing I like about the Fuji apples is they go really good with a darker apple too. Like if you're using like the apple pie apple filling, and you throw a Fuji apple in it. Grandmother used to make them so they're layered like that. She'd layer her pot. She'd take extra time and layer them back and forth between the tart apple and a Granny Smith or something like that, and that way every bite tasted a little different. I mean, unfortunately, you can't taste every bite different, but it does give you kind of that in between the layers like taste when you add like a Fuji apple to a darker one. This one will be fairly bright, but he's got the pear in there. That'll darken it up a little bit too. Yum.
I don't really know, Stuart. Don't do Nick shots over here. You'll have to get somebody that does Nick shots to help you out with that one. Ask Benny on Wednesday. He can tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, typically I think aren't most of the Nick shots made for like a 60 to go to a 3, I think is how they're designed. I believe.
I don't know. I said I've never dealt with Nick shots, so I don't want to give them the wrong info when I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get Nick shots here in the States, aren't very common. Unless we get some from like outside the States, some liquids, we really don't use the Nick shots.
Only the UK and Australia, as far as I know.
Yeah. I could guess for you, but again, it'd be a guess. I would say like, I think it's 3 milligram per 60, so that'd be like 4 times double, so that'd be 8. Technically, I think you're right. I think it's 8. I don't think it'd be 10. 10 seems like it'd be too much, but I think 8 would be the math if that's the correct way, but don't quote me on that because I might be wrong.
So 3 milligram for 60 is 1. So you'd have to put 2 for every 60.
Yep, and 250 would be
still
about.
Have the thing with that is that get you to 240 would be 8. Yep. So you'd have to go a little over 8 because you still got 10 more mil left.
Right. So you might go 9 if you want to push a little, if you want it a little high, or use 8 if you don't mind it being just a tiny, tiny bit short.
It might be 5, 7, 5, and 8.
But that's a guess, and it does sound right.
Benny's used to, he does that all the time. So
I know the ones I got was like a 60 mil. You just threw in 1 and it became a 3. But I don't know if that's the commonplace of all of them, or if are there different Nick shots?
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah.
Speaking of, I do have that apple pie that I made in this too. So, and I can taste it. It's not like it's muted. Don't get me wrong. Whenever you do any MTL-ish type thing, or use a stock mini coil like an RPM coil, it butchers the flavor.
I was going to say, anytime you've got to up a recipe to taste it, and then just get it.
But I haven't had a dessert that I could actually taste in this, so I figured I'd try. And I can taste it. I can tell it's a dessert. I can tell it's some kind of pie.
Yeah, I was doing.
It's a little indistinct, though.
Even with I was vaping in the Pioneer with some of John's coils in it, and you still can't because it's I don't know. It's just your lower wattage. You've got less vape output, less airflow, lower wattage, and everything else, and it's just not the same.
No, it's not. I don't find MTL nearly as satisfying.
No, I don't either.
God, no.
But I know a lot of people who do. I know a lot of people who love MTL and really don't like direct lung.
Yep. Or those people that need the MTL for the kind of
you got to have that hard drag to get
Or going to
No,
work,
hi, Nick.
going to work that people going to work trying to stealth vape.
Yeah,
Makes
stealth
sense.
vaping. Yeah, and see if I'm stealth vaping, I do use it's the only time I've ever used um, the
I'm
the
I'm not the
Arbiter Solo.
I'm not that great with the stealth vaping. This is just a single coil like little MTL thing, right?
Yeah,
That's not very stealthy.
yeah. Well, I could make it. I did the Arbiter Solo, and I took it with me. We went to the zoo down in Louisville, and basically they had areas where if you wanted to smoke or whatever, you could go there, but you weren't allowed to do anything out in it. But I could pull it out, hit it. It's more of a matter of not getting too much and then just holding it in for a while, and then when you let it out,
Yeah, the longer you hold it in, the more it like dissipates. As long as you're not going heavy.
Yeah, yeah. You just don't take a big pull off of it, the big drag.
Dave was just talking to me about this the other day on Friday about the whole your build according to what you want for it. You can have a really good flavor build for 40 to 55 watts. You can create that. Typically a 40 to 55 watt really flavorful build is probably going to be a single coil.
Yeah, it's got to be just about. I mean, if you're going to go that low on wattage and you go double coil, you're not
You're not going to get flavor.
Up enough.
No,
Yeah.
it won't heat enough to get good flavor. Even if they're really hot coils, you just won't get the flavor. It'll be too airy.
Go mesh deck.
I don't in a
Mash.
hotel, Bob. I just hit and don't worry about I don't blow it right up at the smoke detector or anything. But other than that,
And not a fan of a hot vape. Everybody
Well, I'm
has their
not
own
a-
taste.
I'm not a fan of an extremely hot vape. But by the same token, I somewhere around 80 watts.
I
Say,
used to chase
about a
the cloud zone.
0.15. About a 0.15 at 80 watts is plenty hot enough for me.
Yeah, me too.
When I was a cloud chaser, I used to like the hot vapes, but now I realize you don't get any flavor there. You just get, if you do get flavor, you're getting such a massive amount of vape that you almost get vapor's tongue in 5 minutes if you do. But I have actually toned it down quite a bit. I mean, I'm at 70 with the build in the Hadley, and the flavor is just like delicious.
I vape mostly at 77. Almost everything that I've got set up at 77 watts. And usually it's about a 0.15 to a 0.17 at 77 watts.
But building according to what you want, like I will say the coil that Addy had, and I mimicked it and made a similar one. Mine was not quite as refined as his, but he did like a Space Clapton with ribbon wire in between, and that actually the flavor on that was amazing, and that was really low wattage build. I think that was around 50, 55 watts, something like that, and it was like beautiful at that. So
Well,
it just depends on what you want to vape and
Some of the
what you
stuff
like.
that you can get things that, some of the coils they're making now, even some of the smaller units and stuff like that, the coils that they're putting in, you can vape stuff at around 30, 40 watts and get decent flavor off of it.
Yeah, KVTV, he's got an MTL coil. That's what's in the Tuning K Fund now, is one of his aliens. It's MTL aliens. I know that John, JJ, was it Proper Coils? Trying to think of the right name. Proper Coils has been working on his MTLs. He's using that spaghetti wired with too. And those look really, really good. Oh, the green tomato pie is tasty. Now that'd be interesting if it works. Can you really do that? Can you draw it in and make it taste like an apple pie almost with a vape? Because the flavor is the flavor. So I don't know if you can change it and mimic it as much, but I'm curious on that. Rocky, I might have to try that. I'm curious, really curious.
Yeah, there's some of John's MTLs.
Oh, speaking of Swaggy, I did try to put your Great Pumpkin Fudge in a hot vape. It does not do well if you don't like spice. He's right. It gets spicy when you turn that wattage up. So that's something, if you are getting an off flavor with a certain like one shot or a flavor that's been not tasting the way you get it described to you, it might be the way you're vaping. Most one shots are made for middle of the road addies. They're not made for extreme wattage or even really low wattage. Same thing. Actually, I tried the Great Pumpkin Fudge in. Actually, that's what's in the Nevermore right now. And I get more spice out of this, even in this, than I do actual pumpkin. It just tastes like heavy pumpkin spice, like spice.
Do you have the Arbiter Solo?
I don't.
I do not.
The Solo's got you can turn it down to like, you can MTL it by just taking it down to the smallest holes, or you can just open it up and then you've got like a restricted direct lump.
Right.
Yeah, this has got the single one. You can't see it worth a crap. I see the single hole, and you can move it to the. That's as large as you get, is a hole to the hole. That's why I got it on, because I have a little bit of a warm build in there for an MTL. But
Yeah, that's what I use to stealth vape. I just cut the airflow down. You don't get much.
yeah, I was thinking about that, Tim B. When I get my the GT4 will be in within the next week. When GT4 comes
Graham.
in, I'm gonna put the GT4 on here to make sure I get it so it doesn't leak before I switch it to that. And when I do that, I might actually put the Hadley on a Squonker. The only thing is, I use a Hadley for flavor testing, so it's like the Citadel will be here with it, so we'll be playing around with them. But yeah, that would make sense because it's going to come up from the middle instead of when you drip, it kind of pours over the top and gets near the air holes.
Yeah, he loves mesh, Graham. John does.
Yep.
He won't
Yeah.
admit it. Said he
won't
doesn't
admit it. Well, he just hates sitting there have to solder all those joints together to make that wire. It takes him like forever.
No, what he's found out is he just takes and gets himself a small piece of foil, and then he just takes a hole punch and punches holes all the way around through it, and then bends it and puts it in. So like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
it's the easy way to make them.
Yeah, I said a little more leak resistant. We'll find out. I'm going to test it too. I kept hearing about it from Wayne, other people. Frank likes his Citadel. It's like, I got to try these things. Of course, trying to find a not get a clone was my first option. And talking to Frank, it's like the clones are actually pretty good. As far as their flavor and stuff, they're fine. It just isn't authentic. It's like, okay, well, then I guess I'll just bite the bullet, buy the cheaper version, and we'll see how it works. I'm
Have you
impressed
tried
with
the
this.
Pioneer?
No.
No.
And I haven't tried the Bushido yet, but apparently I'm supposed to try that. I'm hearing good things. But the Bushido makes sense, because the Bushido, again, has a small chamber. Very much like the Derringer. Tiny chamber, very much like the Royal Hunter. Tiny chamber, they pack a lot of flavor. These things are what? When did Derringer come out? Like 2013? 2012? 2014? Somewhere in that general area. A long time ago. Still great flavor, if you don't mind it getting a little warm. But
Yeah, well, that's the Goon LP. That's the one I was showing you earlier, and it's tiny. It's a single.
yeah, oh, it's a single coil?
No, it's double deck, but you can single coil it.
Ah. I believe that she has my LP and the OG Goon is what she's using. I got her a Goon 25. She hates it.
That's the OG.
Yep. Yeah, so will that hose fit through there so you can put that on that Squonker?
No, won't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you checked?
No. You'd have to know it. What happens is it actually doesn't go inside. It fits on a little pit that's on the outside of it and just pops onto it.
You'd melt the hose if you put it in through that.
Yeah, you can't stick the hose inside where the
You'd have to put little metal pieces on it and shove them in.
why they didn't just put a damn metal RTA on it is beyond me, or RDA. I mean, it's a single it's a single coil just on the one side. So your
Such
deck
a weird
Yeah.
little setup.
it is a strange bird.
You
But
first
it's
time
got
you
a
showed me
glass
that,
bottle.
I thought it was something you threw together to make look good.
It does have a glass bottle, which is what I was after because I get that on those rubbery bottles that you can squeeze. I taste the bottle all the time.
Oh, before
It's
you take
like the
off, Bill,
difference
Dave,
between
show him
drinking.
yours.
If you drink soda out of if you're used to drinking like Coke out of the glass bottles and how good it was, and then you go to those damn plastic ones that they all switch to, the flavor, it's soda is not near as good in those. Yeah.
Did you see what Dave has? Dave has that what I was talking about, that the pumper. That's glass. That might actually be something up your alley, what Dave has.
It's a steam crave pumper, and
It
it
just
turns
screws into
any. Yeah, it screws into your mod, so it turns any mod into a squonker.
but it's glass.
Yeah, yeah,
That
it's
might be
glass here
something for you, Bill.
Right, but that's just like you just got your RTAs on the
on the top. Yeah,
yeah.
But
I
it
mean,
pushes it through like a squonker, like
Yeah.
this.
but the one thing is, it doesn't bring the juice back.
Oh, so you can over squonk pretty easily.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm using that profile dual mesh series RDA, so it's huge. So that's not a problem.
It doesn't bring it back through like the squonk pin.
Nope, nope. Just one way.
See that could be bad. I could see that
Yeah.
going really badly.
Oh yeah,
Oops.
on the smaller RDA for sure, you'd flood it every time. But it's designed for big stuff, so it should
Has
not-
anybody ever seen lava flow from a Hadley? Put that on there.
exactly.
That was my biggest problem with the Kennedy. The Kennedy 25, I loved it. Problem with it was, you miss those holes while you're dripping. If you're dripping and driving, that's one of those dangerous RDAs. You can't just blindly do it because you hit one of those tubes.
I have the Asgard Mini it got really good, and the Chief King, the
Chief King.
yeah Squid, the Squid Industries Chief King.
Oh, yep. Okay.
That's good RDA.
This, if you get it built right, the Pyro V3 is really good. It's also got like a condensed chamber. For filling it is real easy. You just pop it and then it's got two little holes on the side. But see how narrow that is? That the chamber blocks on the sides. So there's no chambers on the side. So even though it looks like it has a large chamber, it really doesn't. So it
Yeah.
actually pumps out more flavor than you expect from that. That works similar to what Dave has for that thing. It's an RDTA. I mean no. Yeah, RDTA. You gotta tip it up. Yeah, and it works really well for that reason. You got the extra juice. You don't have to drip constantly, but it's still got the condensed chamber, so it's got good flavor, and it's got very similar to drop airflow.
Yeah.
So if you really like the drop, you probably like that RDA. But the V4
Yeah.
looks like they over-engineered it. It's just too much.
I put that low profile gun on the Noisy Cricket, and I was hitting it on the Noisy Cricket, and I put it on there, and Mick and I were on Zoom together, and I hit it, and all of a sudden it was like, and I opened it up, and what happened is where the Noisy Cricket's got so much stinking power, and I had that thing in there, it welded the coil to the inside of the low profile goon. And when I pulled the top off, the coil was still dangling from where it had welded it to the inside, and it's just had this coil in there. It's a wonder it didn't blow the darn thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, I remember hearing that about the Alexa RDA too. That it was a pretty decent flavor, but very leaky. Hadley. If you over drip this thing, it will leak. No question about it.
Yeah, the Alexa has good flavor, but you're right, it leaks so easily.
Yeah, and it does. It just I hate that it does it, and that's why I ended up the best one that I've got is the block, because it's not the silicone bottle. It's a hard plastic bottle in it.
Well, it's like Same with this. Same with the G box has a hard plastic bottle. It doesn't give you the flavors of the other. That one's actually was pretty good.
Thing
But
is, the RDA on that is not the block. The RDA on the block is not the best RDA.
the RDA on the block is just a cheap old knockoff, just a generic RDA,
Yep.
which is weird because they made a decent, and then they kind of
Yeah.
like cheaped out on the other part. But it's not an expensive kit in the first place.
No. No, it's not. It wasn't. And I think, it was one of those, might have been a Black Friday type thing, $6 or something by the time everything was said and done.
Yeah. Not a bad device though. I mean, if you were needing
Yeah.
something, you wanted a beater mod.
It works
perfect.
fine. I just, I really prefer RTAs when it comes to vaping. It's just,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they're more convenient. Dripping, you can't go driving down the street in a car or a motorcycle dripping. You just can't.
and you can't,
You can't on a
drive
motorcycle.
golf cart. You can't drive a golf cart and drip. You can't.
Yeah.
It's like I can take a couple of RTAs, throw them in the, and go on, but
Yeah.
you can't. RDAs, if you're going to be home,
That's fun.
in the wintertime, sitting here where you're not really going out much or whatever else, RDAs are fine. But, but squonking, I've just never really got on with squonking. I don't know what it is. I've tried 8,000 different squonks. I've got the,
Well, it's like what Ian was saying. The silicone squonk bottles, they taint your liquid. They do. They change your liquid, and then
Because
once you get a liquid in them, getting it out of them is just as much. I mean, we did have some good advice on Tuesday about how to get that out of there, or was it Wednesday?
anytime you've got something you can squeeze in like that, you're going to taste it.
Yep. If it flexes, it's got
Yep.
porous holes in it.
So what I do is I'll just use the same liquid over and over again in the same bottle. So
Yeah, and then,
that's
then
fine.
eventually it like seasons
Yeah.
the bottle. So it's
Exactly.
fine.
Exactly.
But unless you're one of those people that likes the same thing, if you like in Bill's case, if he could get one seasoned with vanilla something, he's set.
Well, I've got, see, but that's the thing is I've got my RDA or RTA with that, so I'm all right.
I mean, how many bottles of vanilla something do you go through in a year now?
I don't know. I think basically my first time that I made vanilla something was about a year ago. So I've been vaping it for probably about a year. I would say, I don't know, I've probably gone through 1,500, 2,000 mil of it, somewhere in there, maybe.
We'll try and get Addy, and he has a free day, and we'll do what Dave suggested the other day. Talk a little bit about building to your flavor.
Yeah.
Because if you are going to use a mech too, that's a totally different situation as well. If you can't dial in your flavor, like with a regulated or even a potentiometer mod, then you might, and you do mech and you're not getting the flavor that you want, especially when you're trying other people's liquids. There's a good chance it's because your build is not really designed for what they made it for.
A lot of it has to do with coils too. If you build a round wire build and just put it in one, you can get a round wire build. I can build a round wire build, stick it in something. It's like the Chief King when I was talking about it. When I first got it, I didn't like the thing at all, but I had done a couple of round wire coils, put them in myself, and I basically wasn't getting any good flavor. Then I put some decent coils in it, and bang, it's it's like anything else. I wonder, Rocky, what all your bottles could be tainted with. Yes.
That's actually exactly what I was responding to.
Yes, tainted love, right? Yes.
The blue Raz, of course. Oh,
Yeah.
would that be? You accidentally got Bob's bottle. Sorry.
Yeah.
Milk and
Yeah, that's
honey does have its uses. I have found that I'm using it more than I really want to admit. Flavor
I
is a
put
little
it-
dependent.
I put it in a couple of things, and I never put it higher than 0.25. But when I put it in one, I left it out of the other, and I thought, I'm going to try the 0.25 in here. And it actually did,
Well, one of the things too, there's people that really would like a good coffee vape, but they say they can't get one. You find out they're vaping on only mechs. They like a hot build, like a point 0.1 at the coolest, about 0.1. And then you find out that they're trying to make a coffee vape. Well, you have really one option. Get VSO espresso. Everything else is going to burn. You're just not going to get a real. You might get a decent one, but you're not going to really get a lot of great flavor off a coffee vape at that with that build.
Yeah, you're guaranteeing tire fire every time.
I don't know. I'll put it to you. Batman did a coffee.
Yeah, I have his.
And you could vape that at 120 watts, and it tasted great. If you vaped it at 80, it actually wasn't as good. You had to bump it to most of his stuff that he had.
Cafe con leche.
Most of the stuff that he had, what he did was he made it so because he likes to vape at a high wattage. So he tested everything and he was trying to get the flavor right at his wattage. And then when everybody got it, they're all vaping it at 60, 70 watts, and it's not the same. You've got to bump that stuff up to get the flavor to where you want it. Yeah.
It's like Overdrip. He's been on here a few times. I think you got a chance to meet him, Bill.
Yeah.
And he does all his builds to a mech because that's what he vapes.
Yeah.
So when he makes his liquids, he makes them for a mech. But then even a mech isn't all even because it depends on what you're used to building in your mech. Are you used to a 1.15? Are you used to a 0.1? Are you used to a 0.3? Some people like
0.07 or something.
0.07, 0.06.
Don't suggest that, but so.
But if you do, it does change the way you taste stuff and what'll burn off. Oh, got to mix another bottle of this. Nice, Bob. Yeah, and if it's a boring mix, just add milk and honey, Rocky says.
Daniel says he uses Wonder Flavors Brazilian coffee, and it works at high watts.
Yep, Brazilian coffee. Some people like it. Some people don't. I've actually tried it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't get weird taste off it, but I know like Larry doesn't really care for that one. So it really depends on your taste. When you go to certain flavor profiles, like Port de Millen can't taste chocolate, which sucks.
I taste chocolate, but the chocolate that I taste tastes horrible. So I tried every chocolate in the book, and I had Zippy, the chocolate queen, telling me, get this chocolate, get this one, use this percentage, and I'd make them, and it was still nasty as hell. I just couldn't,
I found I've had to tone down. So if there's a suggested percentage for chocolate, I have to tone it down, then it's okay. But if I go with whatever suggested percentage,
we gotta. I realized what Bob was talking about. He's talking about that Gummer while her bra's on for Golf T vapes. It's just a bunch of blue razzes all in one mix. It's like it's Bob's version of vanilla something, but blue raz instead of vanilla.
I've yet to try blue raz. I have to try it.
Hey, if you really want to do it right, there you go. You're gonna taste blue raz in that mix. There's no question. If you'd have to be blue raz blind to not be able to taste that, and I haven't heard of anybody's blue raz blind. It's weird.
Blue raz, it's
a little more of a candy.
Vape, but blue raz is not something I can all day vape. It's just. It's not bad for, if I could make probably a 30 ml bottle of blue raz and it would last me for months, because
that would depend. Timby was asking about steep time for a coffee. It depends on what coffee flavors you're using and what you're putting it up against.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's not even the coffee that needs to steep as much as like your creams you're putting in it, because most coffee vapes have a cream in them.
Yeah, I'd say that. Basically, I'd put like a condensed milk more in a coffee vape than I would a cream.
I throw the French vanilla thick in.
Yep. Yeah, isn't that what I used in the one that Lady Liberty wants me to make a ton of, the Eddie's coffee I made for Eddie and the Arson's Eddie. I'll look it up and see, but I think that's what it was. That one does take a little time to steep. And I think it's not really the coffee in it, it's the blue raz. Yeah, that's just simple blueberry jam. That actually too. Blueberry jam actually needs a little steep. Blueberry jam, Wonder Flavors at 2.5. Espresso VSO at 1.5. French Vanilla Thick, Wonder Flavors at 1, Super Sweet Cap at 1 because she likes her sweet, and Vanilla Cream Extra Wonder Flavors at 1.5. It's the blueberry jam that really needs to steep in there more than anything else, because that one doesn't taste quite right off the shake. It's got a weirdness, and once that steeps in with the rest of it, it's really good. That's her favorite coffee, she says, to I make. Friction, good to see you, brother.
Blueberry coffee is very popular commercial flavor, like for
It
real
is.
coffee.
Yeah, no, that's why I made it, is because it's his go-to when they go out when he goes out and picks up coffee. He always gets blueberry coffee, and I wanted to make it taste that artificial blueberry, which is why the blueberry jam's in there, but it's also really sweet and kind of a little bit more rich. So that's why I used blueberry jam instead of just a regular blueberry. I almost used Flavor West blueberry, but I was like, but I want it to be a little bit gummy, like sweet. And the French Vanilla Thick and the vanilla cream to kind of smooth that off. And that turned out pretty good for like a fast, like going to Dunkin' and getting your blueberry coffee. And yes, I am partial to the espresso, because the espresso for me is like a really good coffee. And it can take the heat. And yes, the Brazilian is another one that can take the heat. I don't play with that as much, I guess. I should play with that a little bit more. You know, you find a favorite it's hard to break away from. When you have it, when it's not broke, it's hard to fix it. But I do need to do that more often. And I've tried a few others. Like there's another one that's got the cream built in. It's a little bit more like a Starbucksy flavor right off the bat that I actually did enjoy. I can't remember which one it was now, off the top of my head. We mixed it on Wednesday. On a Wednesday, I used it, Bill, when we went over something. I think we were going over creams or coffee cream or something. I don't remember. Something that Graham started.
Tim's wanting to know who somebody's all day vape now, all three something.
Oh, probably all three of us. Yep.
Oh, I've got 3 all day vapes. So,
I was going to say, Bill has 3 total. That's it. There's only
Yeah.
3.
no, I have 3 all day vapes. I basically have obviously vanilla something. I have just yummy and crisp rocky treat, or crisp rocky nut treat.
See, I find it a lot harder than I used to for saying what's an all-day vape. If I can vape it all day, then that's this cinnamon apple pie that I made, the one I just made. That one actually falls in there. The banana bread with the tea in a tea one I made with Bob's name in it. That one actually is really good. That one can last all day for me. So those are my most recent ADVs. If I'm going back to it, I still really like. Take me a second. What about you, Dave? While I'm looking.
My pound cake, delish. I'll do that. I do that all the time. That coconut banana cream recipe I made a while ago, and probably I don't know. Let me see. Key lime pie. One of the key lime pie recipes I made.
Yeah, your taste buds and mine don't run. I don't like coconut and I don't like lime. So so you've named off 2 there that I could do the bananas and the cream, but I couldn't do the coconut.
It surprised me. Honestly, it surprised me when I made that recipe and then I vaped it and I thought, holy cow, this is amazing. I was really surprised because I wasn't into that. But I've been trying to expand my palate because I've got almost 600 flavors and 99% of them I don't use. So
yeah, that's the same here. I look over and I think to myself, why do I have all these bottles of,
exactly.
Because there's probably about maybe 15, 20 flavors that I pretty much go back to almost every time, and I just make into some kind of combination. And every now and then I grab something off of somewhere else. But most everything that you do is pretty much the same type flavors.
And a lot of people are like that. I've heard a lot of mixers talk, and they use 10% of their flavors, and the rest are just there.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing about it is what you get into when you're into mixing is you get into where you're mixing a certain thing and you got to have this flavor and you got to have that. So you order it and then
Yeah.
you get it and you use, zero point 0.5 mil to make that recipe. And then you kind of like the recipe, but it's not something that's going to break into your regular, and then the next thing you know, that thing sits there. You've just, you know, the ones where you can go back pretty much and look at what do you order on a regular basis that you have to continuously order. Like with me, it's vanilla and nuts. I've got enough water
Nuts.
right now to basically I've still got probably a good couple hundred mil of that. But there's certain flavors that you just have to keep ordering all the time.
Well, what I started doing is I ordered the flavors I use the most. I ordered like 500 ml of them all the time.
Yeah.
Yep. See, I got 4 that I would go back to and would make right now and wouldn't want to put them down. My key lime cheesecake recipe, my island cake recipe, still love that. That's a simple 4-banger. The blueberry cake, the Ode to Glass one, which I think is, in my opinion, is better than glass. I like it better. And then blackberry custard. And either version of the blackberry custard, the VSO or the V2, the one I made that's all the VSO flavors, and then I made another version so the UK people could make it as well. And both of them are delicious. I really, really like that blackberry custard. For me, it's like, that's an ADV. The only thing about the blackberry custard is an ADV for 2-3 days, and then that blackberry starts to like make your throat tingle a little bit after a few days. I mean, it's kind of one of those flavors that'll get to you after a little while. So of these, probably the island cake's the smoothest.
Thing that I find if I do an all day vape, and then so let's say I've just got one, then I wake up in the morning, I start vaping that all day vape, and I vape it, and by around 2 o'clock that day, I almost become blind to that vape taste.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if I rotate these 3 things in, then it changes up just enough that if I hit this one a couple times, then that one, then my taste buds don't get to the point to where they just stop tasting everything. It continue.
Yeah.
That vapor's time away. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob's got a point. The VSO blackberry with cap, yum. But you're right. I get that way. That's why I can't do strawberries in ADV.
Yeah.
It's one of those flavors that can't, for me, after a little while, I go blind to it. I got to get off it for a little while so I can taste it again.
You just hit something else a while, and then, and in a lot of cases, you can hit, I can do a couple of hits off of something with a strawberry or something like that. Something that's real, whatever.
Creamy or something.
But if I'm doing a bakery, for instance, if I'm doing bakeries and I get to the point to where they start really kind of mellowing out on me too much, then I can hit like a fruit, something that's a strong fruit for a few hits, and then go back to the bakeries and I can taste them again.
Oh, it's like typically Apple's the same way for me. Apple is one of those ones that I kind of got to do what Bob does. I have like 4 or 5 setups. It can be an ADV mix, but it's not ADV. I can just vape only that all day. Like if I'm taking a trip or something, I'm probably not taking an apple or a strawberry with me as a main vape because of that reason. That was really good too.
Is Lady Liberty pregnant?
Those are the 2 of my recipes, that she likes.
So that's not all in one bottle.
It is, no, it's 2 different bottles.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
caramel drenched banana,
Okay.
peanut butter cheesecake, and then the Eddie's pumpkin coffee.
So it's 3 different.
4, and then the pumpkin fudge. So she's got 4 in there, but she didn't put any commas in there at all. So it just looks like one big.
I was thinking it was one mix with caramel, banana, peanut butter, cheesecake, blueberry, coffee, and pumpkin fudge.
Triplets. Congratulations, Tim.
Awesome. Yeah, it's 4. Commas would help in that situation.
That was something.
You just confused Bill. He's not used to this.
It's not hard though, to be honest.
No, delicious flavors. So, as far as pies go, have you ever had a pie that was an ADV? Even
The
commercialized?
apple pie, the Graham's apple pie recipe that I showed you there. We
Oh,
used
yep.
to ADV that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I get confused at four-way stops because when I pull up to it, I keep thinking to myself, how can I stop four different ways? And I'm trying to hit brakes, and then there's just not four ways to stop. There's only one, and then you're
Park
sitting
is another one, but that's just two. Reverse is not really a stop.
Yeah.
Throwing it in reverse when it gets to this thing.
So then I'm sitting there for a while trying to figure out how to stop the other three ways, and people are sitting at the other intersection beeping at me because I'm not going anywhere because I've only stopped one way.
I mean, ADVs are a tough one. You got to find what works for you. Like the
There's
island
also-
cake was a good one for me because it's got the frosting layer, makes a smoothness so it becomes there. The cake as well. The coconut in there is just with the sugarloaf pineapple gives it that pina colada like flavoring, but it's not like overpowering. That sugarloaf pineapple blends so well with the cake and the buttercream frosting. Oh, that one there is simple recipe but tasty. It doesn't really need sweetener, but you can add it if you want to. Quite a few people do. I didn't mix it with sweetener when I made it because I got enough sweetener off the buttercream frosting in that one.
I'll tell you another good thing when you're doing a pie to add like the crumble topping.
Yep.
It kind of enhances the crust on a pie some too. Yeah.
Oh, it's
I
like
don't-
this-
I
this
wouldn't
apple-
use the
this
crumble
apple pie
topping.
has
Yeah.
no pie crust in it.
Right. I wouldn't use the crumble topping as the pie crust, but I would use like a pie crust with a little crumble topping in with it just to kind of give the pie crust a little bit of,
The edge.
yep.
Yep. That's your go-to edge. Some people like either a little Zapola or something crispy waffle or something like that to get that.
Well, I
edge.
used the crispy wafer.
Yeah, what did you guys? You guys just made that one mix recently. What was
Yeah.
that one? The you and
That was
That reality came
that
up
was
with-
the Rocky Nut crispy
Yeah.
treat. Yeah.
yeah, you guys both on the plug in that a lot.
Yeah, I'm still vaping it. I've still got I went through one 200 mil and I'm that far down through the second one already. So
Nice.
So instructions on how to become butter blind by Daniel. Butter raw at 20%. You will never taste butter ever again unless you use that exact mix, because you will be butter blind.
15% it says, not 20. Yeah.
He changed it to 20 later.
Oh.
He said bump it to 20.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to let me know, Bob, how that turns out in a few days. I'm also curious on Rocky's pie. Those are interesting mixes.
Yeah,
Which means if I'm missing anything, I'm going to throw more stuff in a Bull City order. You watch. It's going to happen. Happens every time. Every show. I need an unlimited, like a bank account just for the flavorings. And either that or literally every single flavor out there, which is almost impossible.
That
I'm more
Bob.
cake than pie, So
Yep.
I could see like putting apple in with a cake or putting some kind of fruit in with a cake. And I guess technically, vape wise, it depends on what crust you use or what cake you use. You're still going to pretty much get the same kind
Result.
of flavor, whether or not it's a cake or a pie, because it's still a bakery and a fruit, whether or not it's a pie crust or whether or not it's a cake or whether or not it's whatever. You're still, it's still going to be similar. I don't really see, depending on what you're putting in and how you're using it, there's not really that much difference. Bakeries with a fruit's gonna, to me, in
Well,
a
that
pie,
was another one.
the fruit's more forward in a pie and the bakery's more forward in a cake.
Yep, I've tried to get the apple cider pie, but getting that ratio right is difficult because it tastes either way too much apple cider or way too much pie or cake. Either, I tried them.
Basically, with a pie, though, technically with a pie, you taste more fruit than you do crust. Yeah.
And another one that actually I forgot about, and I just remembered that I've been chasing for a while a good pineapple upside down cake, because they had the upside down Nilla was pretty good, but always after a while gets a little bit waxy. The
And
e-liquid.
once again, Batman had a pineapple rum upside down cake that was good.
His was pretty good. Yes, it was.
But all of his stuff was extremely sweet, but that's because that's how they make the stuff in Puerto Rico. They put a lot of sugar and a lot of stuff.
And the rum in that was prominent.
Yeah.
It was good though.
Yeah.
But I made that pineapple upside down cake for mixing it up, and when we did, it asked me for a contest, and we did it, and I was impressed with this, and didn't never change it. It's just brown sugar VSO at 0.5, golden pineapple from Cap at 4, sugarloaf pineapple VTA at 2, super sweet from Cap at 1/2, and yellow cake jungle flavors at 1.5. And I know there's no cherry in there, but there's a reason. We don't have the right cherry to really not screw up the recipe. It's balanced well. It is. If I get a cherry that'll fit just right, I got to try the maraschino. Getting that cherry to balance with those flavors without screwing them up. It's like, I'm okay with not having the cherry in there. I mean, you don't always get a bite of cherry.
Try a little bit of cashew.
Yeah, I know. You like cashew
You
cherry.
sometimes get a cherry note off of the cashews, and
And if you don't-
it's just a slight cherry note. It's not that much, and it might work. I'm on the chicken pot pie. How are we gonna do this one?
That's simple. We got VSO chicken.
You got to have the peas and
Oh, we don't have peas, do we? No.
yeah, and then you really need like cream of chicken.
Cream of chicken. Is that like cream of Seongnyeong, but it's cream of chicken instead?
Yes.
Okay.
Cream of chicken, cream of mushroom. Those are two important. I buy tons of cans of that shit.
It's like we've seen a lot of people use the sugar pie and different things as an additive to make their crust.
Yeah.
Great use of that flavor.
Yeah. Sugar pie is
Cider
real
vinegar.
I like the taste.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
cider
to getting
vinegar.
beef and chicken. Have it coming.
Wait until you smell them, and it's just like not what you expect. You kind of want to throw them in noodles instantly. It's like, because that chicken and dumpling or chicken and biscuits, whichever it was that Swaggy sent me, it's like that's what I expected. Like that nauseating smell of the chicken, but it tastes okay, but it has that nauseating like canned chicken smell.
Yep.
That's what I expected, and it's like, no, this smells like roasted chicken. That's really weird. I don't know how he did it.
Roasted chicken smells not bad.
No, that's why I was surprised. That's what it smells like and it tastes like. His beef smells and tastes kind
But
of more.
what you got to watch with that though, if you don't get your coil temperature and if you don't vape it high enough, you can get salmonella.
Yeah. Oh, naturally extracted flavors. That's not possible. That would be creepy. That'd be really creepy. Yeah, that ham and cheese croissant that Legion had. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Forgot about that one, Bob. I wanted to try that too. It's like, okay. I'm pretty sure
Was
it's
it-
Wonder Flavors croissant is in it, but
I can't remember the name of the person that made it for him. Can't remember his name. I haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't either. But that is an interesting flavor combo. It's a first savory. And the Spanish rice V1 actually was like something I could vape pretty nonstop. But the thing is, that was one of those ones you couldn't do what Bill said, switching back and forth.
Oh no.
Because you don't want to go that savory and then vape as sweet. It does not work. It'll instantly make everything taste bad. Then you go back to that and that tastes bad. It's like, if you stay right on it, you're good.
The effect it had on the Addy.
Yeah, that Addy was sacrificial at that point. Yeah. That ham and cheese croissant. But yeah, you can try different things. Seeing the mixes that are coming out of this community is just great. Like some of the tarts for the tart thing is just... Yeah, it's hard to get a tart because you're supposed to have a crust. We had some great fillings. I think it was it Rockies? That the filling was absolutely amazing in it. The filling was great. It just didn't have much of a crust. It's like, I don't really care for the crust. If I were mixing for just myself and not mixing for authenticity, I'd probably be crustless. I would mix a lot like Pugs. Pugs doesn't really care for a crust. and I get it. I'm kind of the same way. I prefer just eat the filling.
Yeah. The thing is that like you're saying you do a key lime pie. Is that like kind of like how about a
That's key lime cheesecake.
How about a lemon meringue pie?
I do that too.
Yeah.
Yep. That can be tricky because some of the best lemon meringues, or the things that will work best for lemon meringues, can be a touch pledgy to me. I got that sensitivity to that. So it's like you trying to make a chocolate vape. Getting it just right might prove to be difficult. Will I do it eventually? Yes. That's one of those ones I'm still working on.
I posted my recipe. I posted my recipe for that chocolate pie. It's actually really good off the shake and the Caliburn.
Looking for Dave. Let's see, a chocolate pie.
Edgar Allan pie.
Oh, Edgar.
I thought you were E.E. Cummings, but it's Edgar Allan. I'm sorry, it's two totally different.
I'll throw it up and then you can go over it.
Did you put any alcohol in the Edgar Allan pie? Because he liked to drink.
He did. There, it's up, Dave. Go over this recipe.
Okay, so we got me with no glasses.
So you got.
That doesn't say that on there. I don't see that on there.
Chocolate custard, vape train at 2%. Chocolate raw VSO at 0.35%. French vanilla thick at 3%. Nut mix flavor art at 1%. Pie crust TPA at 0.5. Super sweet at 1. Sweet cream TPA at 3, and whipped cream TPA at 3. It's good. It's good. I think it's going to be a lot better in 7 days, but it's not bad right now in the melt to lung.
And I do like going to test that on a mesh deck at 50 watts. I like that.
In 7 days, yeah.
We all need to get better at putting that on there because it does make a difference what you've tested it on. If you want someone to authentically taste what you taste, they're going to need a very similar setup.
Yeah.
And we don't always think about that because we're like, oh yeah, but I like. Wow, this was delicious. And then you got someone's.
You don't get a similar taste buds though.
No, that's the other downside.
Some of us have killed more taste buds than others. I smoked for close to 50 years, so my taste buds are just about shot.
That I remember that looking good. The name didn't sound that great, Bob, but yeah, I remember that one looking good. His chunky turd milkshake.
Yeah.
I mixed that Dave's milkshake, but just swapped out the double. Was it the double chocolate?
Yeah.
For the medicine flower dark chocolate, and wow, that is so good. If you like, or even the idea of Golden Ticket and what it's supposed to be, even though it is more Kahlua. Do you wanted a milkshake, a dark chocolate milkshake? That actually, or milk, that is there. Not really a shake because there's not any malt in it, but it's good.
Yeah, malt is not. I have it, but it's not something I think to put in because it's not a thing up here. Malt is not a thing.
No, malt reminds me of the Ovaltine packets or something like that, or Carnation Instant Breakfast. That's when I get malt. I mean, milkshakes, I've had them. I went to some of those old milkshake places. Always had malt at all your milkshakes. I've been there, but it's been a long time. It's not commonplace. But yeah, we'll start calling this quits here. After Bob here, what Bob just threw up, is that the recipe for? Yeah, there it is. Bob just put the recipe in chat. If anyone's interested, that is a really nice chocolate mix.
Yeah.
So Bill's gonna get right on it because he absolutely loves chocolate mixes.
Yeah, I like bangers and chocolate. Yeah.
Bangers and chocolate. So we'll start wrapping this up here. But thank you, Bill, for coming on. I really appreciate you when you get on here. It's a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. I think we helped. It was nice seeing today with chat, interaction, working on different things, going down different roads. I'm going to try and see, even if it's not on a usual show day, at some point, it might not be real soon, but at some point we'll try to either that or get some notes from Addy. Because Addy's really good about this building for flavors thing. He's been doing it for a very long time. And even if I can't get him on, I might be able to get some notes from him about different setups, different coils that might actually help certain flavors shine. Because every coil's not the same. Like Bill was saying, the round wire build, you can get some flavors to shine on a round wire build. Sometimes even better than Alien, but then other flavors do not.
Yeah, you need with the coils. What it comes down to is I've heard people talk about, and I'm not sure, but what makes the flavor better is you got the little pockets where the juice can get in, and basically with the round wire, you don't have as much surface area hitting that and causing it to create the flavor.
I mean, even a round wire coil, you have two completely different types, and it can vary greatly with those pockets if you space it. And then how far are you spacing it? How many wraps? It all changes your flavor. Every little nuance changes it.
Well, along with the tank changes it, the airflow changes it, your taste buds change it. There's so many variables when it comes to taste and flavor that it's really hard for two people to bang on. And the other thing is, you can't really ever taste what somebody else tastes because they can describe it, but then you've got to hit yours, and that's where some of the stuff comes from. And that's what they do on commercial e-liquid bottles. They give you a profile, and then you vape it, and you think because you read the profile, that's what you taste. Therefore, it is, even though it's not.
Suggestive. It's in here.
Yeah.
Yep. But the best thing we can do to get closer to what they tasted, outside of your own factors that can't be changed, is whatever you're vaping on. Try to put it in your notes. I'm not saying like every single one you put out, put it on there. But if you find one as like an ADV, or you're really proud of it, or really like a recipe, that would be the ones I'd go back and maybe throw on there what you vaped it on. That way there's someone when they mix it, and that could be a way they can start to know, well, these are the ones they really like. Maybe these are the ones I should mix because it has that note. You can let people know that.
Especially for mouth to lung folks, because a low percentage juice, they're not going to taste it. No, it's got to be a high percentage.
Yeah, I had to turn up this one. That's why this cinnamon apple one is definitely, it's better than I expected on here, especially considering it's just an RPM coil, which I found needs to be garbage in the RPM, which I have over there. I even had the RBA section over there, but it was garbage. But it came with it, so I figured I'd give it a try. I think it'll be better once I get a bridge in there, and it'll be a little bit better. But still, yeah, it's getting used to things and trying to make it flavors come out of different things. I do appreciate Bob for actually putting out some MTL recipes. You don't see many of them on ELR or on ATF.
Some of the RPM coils aren't really that bad.
Some of them aren't bad.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to taste like, a couple of Aliens or Claptons or something of that nature. But for what they are and what you're trying to get out of them, they're not bad. They're not, like I said, you can't replace a good.
I get better flavor out of the Caliburn, though. Much better flavor out of the Caliburn for a similar coil. So I'm like, that's just it. If you're going to make it, it's tough for me because I want that flavor, that level flavor, and I don't get it.
I don't really get a bad. I don't. I mean, like I said, I don't. The one thing is I don't vape certain things. I don't vape bakeries in a coil like that. I would vape fruits or something.
Well, that's why I want. That's what I was shooting for. Trying to get a flavor. Maybe not a great flavor, but a decent bakery flavor, and I'm getting it with this mix. Getting a decent first time I've ever had a decent bakery flavor in an MTL like this. Yeah. So that's what I was aiming for, and I think I got about as good as I'm going to get.
Well, the thing is you're under an MTL like this. This is the the Novo 4 or whatever it is, and it's not an MTL. I mean, it's a
tight direct lung.
No, it's basically it's a direct lung. It's not even that tight. Depending, I've got the airflow cut down on it right now, but you can get flavor out of this with the RPM coils in it with,
Oh, Rocky, you picked a good one. He goes,
strawberry in there.
He uses dual coils with 0.1s. You know what? That's about high wattage for direct lung, and that would work really well with your one good flavor. I have realized does translate well would be your milk and honey. That's actually one you can taste in almost all those setups. You got to throw some heat at that, though. If you try to do it at a lower wattage, it tastes a little weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's say goodnight for now, and I'll see you guys on, well, tomorrow on Daytime Frank, as long as everything goes well. And I believe Frank's planning on being on. And then on Monday night on Noted.
And on Tuesday on us, and Wednesday on Benny's show, and on Thursday on Friday on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm just on Sundays on the late night vape show. That's it. Keep it simple.
You're on Wednesdays too. You're on Wednesday.
I'm on Wednesdays too. But Wednesday's next week. I was talking about this weekend.
Well, Sunday's the beginning of the week, so this week ends on Saturday. So
yeah, but this weekend is Saturday, Sunday. So tomorrow night, late night vape show. That's
What's Frank's theme tomorrow, Tim?
I mixed something for it, and I can't remember. It's because we didn't have a show last week. Because Frank was.
No, that was the week before.
Was it?
Wasn't it? Yeah, it was the week before.
You had a show last week.
Last week was Marshmallow.
Oh, that's right. We did do Marshmallow. And actually, who was it? Someone was working on it with us.
Jackfruit.
Jackfruit. That's it. Dragon fruit.
I made my clue recipe because I have no clue.
Yeah, that's right. Dragon
what to
fruit.
do with that.
Which is just best guess is like try and mix something that's a multiple fruit, tropical fruit flavor. Because that's what it is.
It says for tomorrow, do dragons eat fruit?
It came in today. Mystery flavors here.
It's what Frank says for tomorrow. Do dragons eat fruit?
Yeah. So dragon fruit, good God.
Once everything's done, the recipe will come out, but I created a profile blind to that flavor without ever smelling it, just from all of you, your suggestions, your direct messages through chat. I created a recipe based off the profiles you guys were guessing, and I'm going to try and mix it up and see how it tastes. Andrew has it too, just in case they ever want to try it, but I'm just curious because I wanted to see just by the profile, without knowing the flavor, just by the profile, how well I could do with the taste buds of everybody in here, because I'm trusting you guys. And I think from just smelling it today when I opened it up and cracked it, I'm pretty sure that my mix is going to be delicious. And it's all based on what everyone here has talked about. It has nothing to do with me. 100% based around what everybody else has suggested. So, you can do that. You don't have to always go with what a flavor is. It's what you taste, what you smell, what others, Bill already mentioned that too. About mixing stuff, not necessarily about what it says, but when you read it, it's in your head, your thoughts. But you have a great night. We will catch Bill here on Sunday. You are having a show this week, right?
Yeah, we're having a show this week.
Okay. So event Sunday with Mick.
Yep, late night vape show. We're on. Let's see, what is it? 5:30 Eastern time. Yeah.
Yep. And then on Wednesday, I'll see you too, Bill. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
No, 4.
Dave, thank you for being on again.
4 on Wednesday.
Oh, it is 4. It is 4 on Wednesday. Yeah. See, I got too many shows. Times are. She's not on
here. I'll give it to you, Daniel. Hang on a second.
Get ready, for fall forward on time.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's gonna happen too. Screw me all over again. Thanks. And thank you, Dave, for being here as well. It's great having you
thanks,
on.
Tim, for having me. Thank you, chat.
Here you go, Daniel. This is the
choose something.
That's where I'll be tomorrow at 5:30.
Choose a song for on the way out. See, it's tough because I have some favorites here, and it makes it difficult not to choose them.
How about Run Like Hell?
Run Like Hell. We don't have that one, but that sounds like a good one. You know what? Yeah, we're going to go with that.
Thanks, Dan.
Just because it is one of my favorite. We're going to go with one of my favorites. So, you guys have a good night. And yes, she's not in here helping me with my schedule. Don't worry. She'll make sure I'm here on the right times. All right. Love you guys. You have a great night. Have a great weekend. keep reaching out to those you haven't heard from, especially now that the season transition is coming on. We got people with seasonal depression issues. Love you guys.
Night all.
Bye.
Bury me softly in this wound. I give this part of me for you. Sand rains down and here I sit, holding red flowers in a tomb. Down in a hole, and I don't know if I can be saved. See my heart, I take